Welcome to Beyond the Evidence. This is the channel where justice matters. My name is Marv. I am a true crime fanatic, and I love to dig deeper into the mysteries of unsolved cases. Join me as we search for missing persons, uncover the clues in unsolved murders, follow along with jury trials, and we'll be a voice for the voiceless. I'll share with you the facts, the theories, the clues, the evidence, and the controversies that surround these cases. This is Beyond the Evidence. I removed myself and added myself and removed it again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's live stream. Today is Monday, and we are doing a educational video. And from it, the title, Lessons from a Child Predator. We are going to look at a specific case study tonight. I have documents. I am trying to get my screen. Oh, I think I just found it. Okay, I got it. I finally got it. As you all know, I got a new laptop. I'm still learning how to use it, and things are different from Android to Apple, so I am learning as we go. But tonight, we're going to talk deeply. So, I'm just giving everybody a few minutes to come in because I don't want anyone to miss the beginning of this. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to say hi to those in the chat. So, Misty, Free Spirit, you were the first in chat tonight. Hello, how are you? CJK, Honey Bear, nice to see you. Thank you for modding for me tonight. Melissa Wildcard, nice to see you. D. Ashley, True Crime with Frank, Meister is in the house tonight. Fire and Ice, they're going to be having a live stream after I am done or close to it, so join them next. Let's see here. I got all the same people. 50 Shades of Faye. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. Night Shadow. Rescue All the Dogs. Glad you could be here. We've got that Carly Armstrong. Nice to see you, Carly. Thank you for being here and for being one of my mods. I appreciate it. I think, yep, Honeybee I got. The World is Mine. Good to see you. Let's see here. D. Ashley. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. Fight for Justice. How are you doing, my friend? Phoenix. Nice to see you. Clever alt name. I need to find you. Okay. Good to see you too. Let's see here. Leonardo DiCaprio's son. Welcome. That Carly Armstrong starting the night off strong. Gifted one Beyond the Evidence membership. Let me know who got it. Hello, Heather Brown. How are you? We have Panic at Delulu Bishes. How are you? Good to see you. Kathy Clendenning. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? Hi, Alex. Nice to see you. Elf on Shelf. Hello, all. Precascent. Nice to see you, too. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Susie, how are you doing? Jinx is in the house. For Tabby, Drake. Nice to see you, Mark. Hello, Gail. Yep, got that name. Oh, good. 50 Shades of Faye got her wrench. True Crime Investigates. I gotta find you in here. Hang on a minute. Okay, you have a wrench. Good to go. Who else did I miss? Phil Bond. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. New Fee Girl. Hang on, Marv. So many people about to join. Okay. Let's see. Sleuth Intuition. Nice to see you. Hello, Brandon. Welcome in, my dear. Kira, good to see you. Rose, nice to see you. Noe, be a good boy and you won't get kicked out. Good to see you. Hello, Turbo Time. She says, evening, everyone. Night Shadow, I think I got you. Justice Ginger, nice to see ya. Support with Steffa, how are you? Smallwood, welcome. GRG, welcome to you too. Okay, guys, give me 1 minute. I just got to make sure that everything is up here and is working before I get this going. Because things are kind of weird, like I said, with this computer. So I just want to make sure that everything is working correctly and is as it should be. Okay. So that's all good. We have been having storms on and off, so I'm sorry if things get kind of glitchy. Hopefully this storm will pass over fairly quickly. They've lost power all around me today, but we have kept our power on. Okay. So let me just tell you the rules tonight. We're not here to bash anyone. Okay? We're here to learn about how to protect our children. That is the purpose of tonight's live. Yes, we will be going over a case out of Colorado. Okay, moderate rain starting that I can handle. And by going over that case, we're going to learn different things. Okay? So child predators pose a significant threat to our society, preying on the most vulnerable members of our communities. By examining specific case studies, we gain valuable insight into their methods, patterns that emphasize the importance of vigilance in safeguarding children. The case of Keegan Klein in Peru, Indiana, sheds light on the severity of child exploitation and child pornography. Klein, who used catfish social media profiles to contact underage victims, received a 40-year prison sentence for his crimes. Allegedly, his father, Tony Klein, was also involved, although police have not found any proof of this. Klein's actions underscore the need for vigilance, education, and law enforcement efforts to protect children from online and offline predators. Tonight, we continue to raise awareness and collaborate to safeguard our children by exploring another case study. Donovan Boudreau. Donovan Boudreau is a 22-year-old male from Colorado. He was arrested on March 21st, 2023 for the following charges. Count 1, stalking, credible threat and conduct in Montrose County, Colorado between March 13th, 2023 and March 20th, 2023. Count 2, stalking, credible threat and conduct in Montrose County, Colorado between March 13th, 2023 and March 20th, 2023. Count 3, stalking, serious emotional distress in Montrose County, Colorado between March 13th, 2023 and March 20th, 2023. These charges, counts 1 through 3, were separated from the other charges and tried separately from the below charges. Counts 4 through 48, sexual exploitation of a child in Montrose County, Colorado between and including March 13th, 2023 and March 20th, 2023. Now let me repeat that again. The first 3 charges, 1 through 3, were stalking. Counts 4 through 48, sexual exploitation of a child in Monroe County, Colorado. Now you're like, how do you know all of this? Well, I know all of this because I have all the documents on the case. In my file, I have 491 pages. As I'm scrolling through them, so that you know this is the real deal. I have all of the motion to sever. I have all of the jury instructions, which you're seeing now, which show the counts that I just read to you. And I'm going to super speed through this part because there are so many pages of this. Request for settlement conference and undisposed motion to continue motions hearing. I have a settlement conference agreement. I have the plea agreement, order of outstanding motions, search warrants, affidavit in support of search warrants, response to motion to sever, motion for jury questionnaire, motion to sever, motion to suppress evidence obtained outside the scope of his involuntary given consent, motion to suppress statement obtained illegally from Mr. Bordeaux that came with some pictures, preliminary endorsement, motion to suppress fruits of illegal searches of Mr. Bordeaux electronic devices because they are unconstitutionally overbroad, people's preliminary endorsement of witnesses and exhibits. I have financial information. I have the criminal jury trial order. I have the order following October 11, 2023 preliminary hearing, finding probable cause shown as to the charges and ordering bind over for arraignment. I have the order vacating October 25th, 2023 hearing and written order to issue. I have amended complaint and information because charges were amended at one point. So as you can see, as I said, I have 491 pages of documents on this case study. Tonight, we're going to be looking at a few of those documents. Okay. This is important. As I said, the reason we're going over this information is because we can learn things from the predator himself that will help us protect our children. Now, in some of these documents, as I read from them, I will not be showing certain ones or parts of ones on the screen, as it does have information about the victim that was not redacted that will identify this individual. When I get past that information, I will put the document up so you can see it all. So tonight, we're going to start and read through the affidavit in support of search warrant. And that starts on page 229. So I am finding that right now. So just so all of you are aware, Donovan Boudreaux was arrested on March 21st, 2023. Okay. The affidavit in support of search warrant says the undersigned, in conformity with the provisions of Colorado Rules of Criminal Procedure 41B and C, presents to this honorable court an affidavit for search warrant and respectfully moves this honorable court for the issuance of a search warrant and in support of the application for search warrant. Herein referred to as affiant, presents the following affidavit in support of search warrant and asserts the following: that the affiant is of lawful age and is a duly sworn law enforcement officer currently employed by the Montrose County Sheriff's Office and was so at all times relevant to the facts contained herein. The affiant, in the course of a criminal investigation, including speaking with fellow law enforcement officers and named citizens, compiled all the information herein contained. All locations referred to are in the county of Montrose, state of Colorado, unless specifically noted otherwise. Here we go. Here's your facts. On 3/20/23, I was advised of a suspicious call that occurred at redacted, County of Montrose, Colorado. I was advised that the 11-year-old child that lives at this residence is possibly being stalked, and a prior report was made to the Montrose Police Department the week prior. I then spoke with Montrose Police Detective Samantha Graves. Detective Graves and I worked together to gather information in reference to this case. The following will be her case report, which will include parts of the investigation I was responsible for. On 3/15/2023, Montrose police officer Larry Graves took a report from redacted regarding text messages he was receiving that referenced his son in a sexual and threatening manner. The series of texts began on 3/14/2023 at 14:31 hours and continued through 18:34 hours when redacted stopped responding and blocked the phone number from which the texts were being sent. This text conversation reads as follows. Tuesday, March 14th, 2023. Predator. Hey, this is redacted. Is this redacted's dad? Dad. Yes. Dad. Who? Predator. Hey, sorry, I know it's been a while since we've talked, but I'm reaching out because I've been concerned about redacted for the past week or two. Predator, your son, redacted. Just wondering if everything is all right at home. Predator, he's expressed to me, along with some of his teammates, that he's being abused. Are you there? This is serious. Dad, I can talk to you later. He told me he doesn't know what you are talking about. Do you have the correct redacted? Predator. Yeah, I'm sure I do. He's the only redacted here. That's what he told me last week. Dad, sorry I can't this is from the Predator. Sorry, I can't talk on the phone, but yes, your son. I didn't know how else to reach out to you, so in a way, this is appropriate. But I'm just going off what he's expressed to me. I know when a child is being abused. More specifically, I believe he's being emmed, molested. You know what I mean? I'm not accusing you of it, but there definitely is something going on either at school, at home, or here at the redacted. I just left. Now, this is Dad talking. I just left, but I'll be willing to talk with you tomorrow evening if you'd like. Predator. With that blue looking redacted he wears every day, he's just asking for it. Face throwing a kiss emoji. Dad, I guess I will talk to redacted when I get to the redacted. Predator, about what I already told you what's going on? Redacted, literally asking for it. Don't you get that? Dad, I don't know who this is. I know it's not redacted because he gave a fake name. When I find out who this is, we are going to have a problem. Way to go, Dad. Predator, why do you say that? Do you even understand what I'm saying? He's perfect. Have you seen him in those blue undies? Like, seriously. I try to glance a stare at him all the time. He has an amazing body. He must have great genes. Now I'm going to stop here for a moment because this is the most sickening behavior I have ever heard of. This is a child predator contacting a child's father, saying this vile and filth about his son to him in a text message. Who does that? Who the fuck does that? It gets worse. Hang on. But before I go further, as I said, part of this is an educational video. Okay? Here comes your education. If you, as a parent, receive any email like this or a text, do not disregard it. Engage with the individual like this father did for a short time and take it directly to police. Okay. And talk to your children. These kids are smarter than we'll ever know these days at such a younger age. They understand what's going on. If you sit down and you talk to them about child predators, even at the age of 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11, they will listen to you and they will understand you. Because kids nowadays grow up a lot faster than we think. Get down on their level and explain to them why this is important, how something like this could hurt them, and in what ways it can hurt them. Don't sugarcoat it. Be blunt. Their lives, their childhoods are at stake. And just tell them that if they ever receive a message like this or just off, to bring it to you right away, immediately. And I don't care if it's text message, email, through a gaming site, through social media, face to face, any way possible. Okay? It's too important. This is so prevalent in our society. We need to make sure that we're educating ourselves as parents and educating our children on what's out there. That's how we're going to stop the grooming. Parents can't be afraid to talk to their children about these things. Unless you want something to happen to your child, or, for God forbid, the worst case scenario happen, talk to your kids. Let's continue. At 1946 hours, 1 hour and 12 minutes after blocking the first phone number, Redacted received a text message from a new number. That text message stated, "I swear he's the most beautiful person I've ever laid eyes on. Perfect body. Can't help but glance at him every chance I get. Those jeans probably came in strong, didn't they? I'm glad, because Redacted is truly amazing. So sexy. I'm literally obsessed with his physique. I swear, one day I'll get a taste of him. Not as if I can already taste him. He's the Redacted, and I'll be the Redacted. Remember that red heart emoji." Now listen up. The last sentence of the last text refers to Redacted, a FedEx driver who kidnapped an unalived 7-year-old Redacted in Wise County, Texas on 11/30/2022. The story was briefly covered by national news outlets following Redacted's indictment. Now, you know me. I've covered this case. So even though the names are redacted, I can tell you exactly who Donovan Boudreaux pointed out in his statement. Let me read it to you one more time. At 1946 hours, 1 hour and 12 minutes after blocking the first phone number, Redacted received a text message from a new number, Redacted. That message stated, now this is from the predator, I swear he's the most beautiful person I've ever laid my eyes on. Perfect body. Can't help but glance at him every chance I get. Those genes probably came in strong, didn't they? I'm glad because Redacted is truly amazing. So sexy. I'm literally obsessed with his physique. I swear, one day I'll get a taste of him. Not as if I can't already taste him. He's the Athena Strand, and I'll be the Tanner Horner. Remember, the last sentence refers to a FedEx driver who kidnapped and unalived a 7-year-old. That FedEx driver was Tanner Horner, and he kidnapped and unalived Athena Strand. Gets worse. Officer L. Graves called the first phone number, Redacted, and found it to be disconnected. He then called the second number, Redacted. No one answered. However, he received a text message back stating, "Who is this?" To which Officer L. Graves replied, "Officer Graves, Montreux Police Department." He immediately tried calling the phone number again, but received a message stating the line was disconnected. When Officer L. Graves attempted to send another text to the second number, he received an automated response that said, "This phone number is no longer in service." Upon being notified of this case, I began researching the 2 phone numbers that had been used to contact Redacted. I learned that both phone numbers are owned by Envoy Spectrum, LLC, a wholesale telecommunication service provider that sells internet-based telephone and messaging services to other wireless cable and communication service providers like WhatsApp and text free, for example. This kind of telephone service is known as voice over internet protocol, otherwise known as VoIP, and allows the customer subscriber to make voice calls and send text messages using an internet connection rather than through traditional or cellular phone service. Although phone calls made and text messages sent from VoIP phone numbers are not as easy to trace as those made with traditional or cellular phone services, each call text is linked to the unique address that identifies a specific device, cell phone, computer, etc., or local network used to make a call or send a text. This unique identifier is known as the Internet Protocol or IP address. With regards to the specific case, the person sending text to Redacted would have downloaded an application like Text Free onto his or her phone, and after subscribing to the service, he or she would have been issued the first phone number, Redacted. After Redacted blocked the first phone number, the person likely canceled the first subscription, thus deactivating the first phone number. The person then activated another subscription, which was assigned the second phone number. That was used to send the final text to redacted on 3/14/2023. Now, does everybody understand how that works? Or do I need to read those two sentences or those two paragraphs again? Because it's important information for parents to know how these individuals can get new numbers. Yes, Dean Johnson. Absolutely. Wow. WTF. I told you that tonight was an educational live stream. These are facts from this case study, from this child predator. Okay? I'm giving you information about how a child predator has tried to get to his victim. Okay? On my return to work on 3/20/2023, I received a call from Investigator Grubbs of the Montrose County Sheriff's Office. She informed me of a case she was investigating that appeared to be a continuation of the harassment detailed in this report. According to Montrose County Sheriff's Office, report, and it gives the number, Deputy F. Navarrete responded to redacted. Residents on 3/19/2023 at 20:49 hours to investigate a suspicious occurrence. And I'm just going to say Deputy N. The report states the following. If you thought the first part was bad, buckle your seatbelts. On 3/19/2023 at approximately 20:49 hours, I responded, redacted, Montrose County, Colorado, for a suspicious call. Dispatch advised me that someone had shown up to the reporting party's house, claiming to be DoorDash. Dispatch informed me the reporting party stated that he is related to an ongoing case with the Montrose Police Department, but he lives in the county. Dispatch stated the DoorDash driver is no longer there, but the reporting party stated this is all happening because of what he had been dealing with. Dispatch stated the reporting party would not give direct answers to questions. Upon arriving at the scene, I contacted a male party later identified as redacted. Redacted asked if I was in fact with the Montrose County Sheriff's Office and asked how I found out about the call. Now listen to this. This is important. I informed Redacted that I was with MCSO along with Sergeant Taylor, and we were informed through Westcode Dispatch. Redacted then stated that he did not know who he could trust. Redacted stated that he at one point received a call from an individual that stated he was either Inspector or Detective Bailey with the Montrose Sheriff's Department, who left a message stating to get back with him at his earliest convenience. Redacted then stated he called MCSO and asked for a detective or Inspector Bailey, where he was then informed that no one by that name worked for the sheriff's office. So not only did this man get these disgusting emails, he was then contacted by the predator, and the predator stated he was a police officer or inspector. But wait, it gets worse. At this time, redacted then stated a DoorDash driver who, redacted stated, told him his name was Donovan Boudreaux, was delivering Pizza Hut pizza, and it was to be delivered to redacted, meaning it was to be delivered to the child. Redacted informed me that his son is redacted. Redacted stated he told the DoorDash delivery person that there was no order made and asked to see information regarding the order. Redacted stated the DoorDash delivery person showed him the order on his cell phone, which had a note attached, reading something to the effect of, "Hand it to me. Please ring doorbell and ask for redacted. Thanks. I have cash tip. Love you, redacted. I'll get a piece of you someday. You'll never see it coming. So sexy, redacted." Or so sexy. Redacted, meaning the father, then stated that he informed Donovan that he did not order any takeout food and told him he needed to leave. Redacted stated that Donovan did not leave right away and wasn't sure about the encounter with Donovan. Redacted then stated that is when he called the report in to Wesco Dispatch. Redacted also stated that his son stated that he recognized Donovan as a lifeguard at a swimming pool. So, let's review once again. This predator not only texted this child's father and said disgusting, vile things about his son, he then called him and left him a message to call back as he was a police officer or inspector. And when that didn't work, he then delivered a pizza to the house and said that he needed to put it in the child's hands. How disgusting and vile is that? Who the hell does something like that to a family and to a child? A very, very sick, manipulative individual who likes to stalk, intimidate, have control over others. We've seen these types of individuals before in the many cases that we talk about. Now, one of the things that I haven't told you is that this predator is a lifeguard in the community. Or I should say, was a lifeguard in the community. This just makes me sick. It makes me so sick. It makes me sick as a human being, as a parent, as an individual that is advocating and fighting to stop things like this. It just makes me want to cry, and it makes me want to throw up. He did work at DoorDash. He had several jobs. But the story's not over yet, guys. It's not over, unfortunately. While speaking with Redacted, he received a call on his home phone landline, and the caller would not identify themselves. The phone was then handed over to Sergeant Taylor, who then put the phone on speaker. The caller still would not identify himself and just kept saying, "Redacted," in a creepy voice. Sergeant Taylor then stated that the caller needed to stop and that when he found out who is harassing the victims, charges will be pursued. At that point, the caller hung up on the phone. I then asked Redacted if it was possible that Redacted was either pranking him or one of his friends were pranking them, which Redacted stated that he did not believe that this was happening. I then asked if there was anybody that he may have angered anywhere down the line in any of his dealings. Redacted stated that he was a veterinarian and he doesn't believe that he has angered anybody, aside from general dealings with people's animals. Redacted was referencing people becoming angered when a pet dies, etc. A short time later, a vehicle slowly creeping up the road on Redacted. Myself and Sergeant Taylor met the driver on the driveway who was delivering pizza for Domino's Pizza. We then asked where the delivery was going, and the driver stated that it was to be delivered to Redacted, where the victim resided, and it was to be delivered to Redacted. I then got the driver's information, who was identified as Redacted, and the vehicle he was driving was bearing license plate Redacted. I asked Wesco to run them through NCIC CCIC database, which they both came back clear and valid. Redacted at this time called the district manager of Domino's, who stated the call was either generated online or through a call center. The phone number listed on the receipt was Redacted phone number. I then took pictures of the receipt through my Axon apps on my phone and uploaded them to my account on evidence.com. After speaking with the investigator Grubbs and reviewing this report, I went to the Montrose Redacted, where I was allowed to review surveillance footage of the pool area for the week of 3/13/2023 through 3/16/2023. While watching the video, I did not see anyone suspiciously lingering around the pool while Redacted was practicing. While at the Redacted, I spoke briefly with Redacted, the Redacted coordinator and main supervisor for the Redacted facility at the Redacted Center. She said that Redacted, the head coach for the Redacted, notified her of the text messages Redacted was receiving since she was responsible for the safety of the patrons in the pool. Since Deputy N had been unable to positively identify the DoorDash delivery driver, I asked Redacted, someone named Donovan was employed as a lifeguard. She confirmed there was a lifeguard named Donovan Boudreau, who also worked for DoorDash. I explained that Donovan had delivered a pizza to Redacted residents and told her that we thought he might be able to provide some information regarding the person who placed the order. Redacted left for a few moments and returned with a post-it note containing Donovan's cellular telephone number. Investigator Grubbs contacted DoorDash and provided them with the information they requested to release information related to Pizza Hut pizza Donovan delivered to Redacted residents. She received an email from DoorDash documenting that the Pizza Hut order was placed on 3/20/23, Redacted. The email also contained identifying information regarding the customer and Dasher delivery driver for this delivery. Gives the IP address, customer name, phone number, customer email, and address for the customer. That was all redacted. Dasher information gives his date of birth, the Dasher name, Donovan Kendall Boudreau. Phone number and Dasher email have been redacted. I searched for details relating to the IP address listed for the customer, redacted, using a website called whatismyipaddress.com. The website listed the IP address as being registered to Verizon Communications, Inc. I contacted the Verizon Security Assistance Team, provided the representative with a synopsis of the case, and asked if he can confirm the IP address that was truly registered to Verizon before I began writing a court order for production of records. He told me the IP address was registered to Verizon and described the specific address as a network address translation or NAT address. A NAT address means that one IP address could be used by numerous devices, which is common at businesses that provide public access Wi-Fi for their customers. He emailed me an emergency situation disclosure form, which I completed and returned. A short time later, I received an email from Verizon Security containing 4 documents, a copy of the disclosure form I submitted, an Excel spreadsheet, and 2 PDF documents that provided explanations of the coding listed within the Excel spreadsheet. The spreadsheet listed the phone numbers of each device that had access or utilized the IP address the DoorDash customer used to create his or her account and then place the DoorDash order. Donovan's cell phone number, redacted, is listed as having accessed this IP address 8 times between 1:43 and 1:44 on 3/20/23 GMT, the same time the DoorDash order was being placed. On 3/20/23 at 17:23 hours, I received an email from Redacted, who works for the Human Resources Department of the Redacted District. The email read as follows: Hi, Officer Graves. I wanted to reach out because I am aware of the situation involving a young boy on the Redacted team. 2 of my employees now have come to me about this issue. Donovan came and spoke to me this afternoon and provided me with some messages he received from Facebook. Donovan is a staff member here, but oddly was also the person who got the pizza order and delivered it, as he also works for DoorDash. The person who sent these messages to him has since blocked and deleted the messages, but he was able to screenshot. Since it involves an 11-year-old boy, I wanted to provide them as they have some concerned comments and statements. They say their name is Redacted, but not sure if that is the real name. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any further questions. The screenshots Donovan provided Redacted are from a Facebook account named Redacted and appear to have been captured at 15:09 hours. The Facebook message reads as follows: I know what you're thinking. Trust me, it's not what it seems to be. I just have major issues I'm dealing with at the moment. I see everyone there and I just wish I had the perfect life, as you all seem to. It's nothing personal, but I had to find a way to get attention. I'm going to repeat that. I had to find a way to get attention. As bad as it sounds, I'm not a terrible person. I do things that are over the top sometimes. It's addicting. It's like a drug. When I see youngsters there, and it's something I can't get away from, even you. I know we don't know each other, but you have to understand that I mean no harm to anyone. Last night was just for attention. That's all. I'm sorry for wasting your time. You guys are all great people. Honestly, Redacted is one of the best coaches out there. And Redacted, I can't get enough of him. You wouldn't understand if you were me. You would trust me. I'm sick, mentally. I know that, but I don't know what to do. I know you're not involved in this, but I know you work there. So I had to bring you guys together, but it wasn't intentional. You just happened to work there. But I'm not going to be blunt and vulgar because I have a life that I want to live. But just know I meant absolutely no harm to anyone. I get caught up in my head and say things about people I shouldn't. Trust me, I'm at the pool as much as you are. Just as much as Redacted is. And I came to the realization as I'm writing this to you that I should just tell you who I am. Don't tell anyone. My name is Redacted, and I'm on the swim team. I see you. I see Redacted. I see you, and most definitely Redacted. And I wish I could live one of you's lives. Use life. Redacted, as it sounds. I have a mental disorder. Won't tell you what it is, but I'll let everyone figure that out. I can't get enough of him. I mean, absolutely no harm to anyone. I'm gonna stop. Not anytime soon, though. I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to get what I want. Okay. So, do you all know who wrote this Facebook message to Donovan? Well, Donovan wrote it to himself. So, you just heard firsthand information from a predator and what they were thinking. What did you pick up on? I wanted attention. I didn't mean to hurt anybody. I'm sick. I have mental issues. What else? What else was in there? I have a mental disorder. I won't tell you what it is, but I'll let everyone figure that out. And then to say, I'm gonna stop. Not anytime soon, though. I'm going to get what I want. These people, these sick individuals, will do anything and everything to get what they want. And they do anything and everything they can to hide themselves and not get caught. Before leaving work, I sent an email to the patrol division asking them to call me if they happen to encounter Donovan. At approximately 1958 hours, I received a phone call from Sergeant White, who informed me that officer had located Donovan's vehicle and were on a field interview with him in the parking lot of Walmart, located at redacted. I advised Sergeant White that there was probable cause to arrest Donovan for stalking and harassment. Donovan was arrested and transported to the Montrose County Sheriff's Office for an interview. I contacted Lieutenant Valerio of the Montrose County Sheriff's Office as he was familiar with this investigation and asked to be notified if Donovan was contacted overnight. He met me at the sheriff's office along with investigators, Grubbs, and Belcher before Donovan arrived. They all went into their office and were out of view when Donovan was escorted into the interview room. When I entered the room, I introduced myself to Donovan and noted that his hands were cuffed behind his back. I asked one of the officers who escorted Donovan to move his handcuffs to the front for the interview. Once this was done and everyone else had left the interview room, I activated the recording system and reintroduced myself to Donovan. There was a small rectangular table positioned against the south and west walls of the room. Donovan sat against the west wall at one end of the table, and I sat against the south wall at the other end of the table. We both maintained a calm, quiet, and conversational tone of voice during the entirety of the interview, which lasted approximately 2 hours and 5 minutes. At the time of the interview, I was dressed in a sweater, jeans, and tennis shoes. My badge was attached to my belt, and I was carrying a department-approved handgun that was secured with a holster on my belt for the duration of the interview. Additionally, my handgun and badge remained mostly covered by my sweater as Donovan and I spoke. I began by advising Donovan of his Miranda rights, which I read off a pre-printed form. I asked if he understood each of his rights, and he acknowledged that he did. I asked if, understanding his rights, he would be willing to speak with me, and he said he would. Donovan signed the waiver, and I signed and dated it. It would be noted that the information contained within the report is a summary of the interview. The full recording has been uploaded to evidence.com. While I asked Donovan, when I asked if Donovan knew why he was there, he told me he thought it had something to do with the delivery he made the night before. He told me Redacted explained some things to him and told him he should reach out to me. So he said he called and left a message at the phone number Redacted had given him. He initially denied having any knowledge of the texts that were sent to Redacted and claimed he did not know who ordered the pizza he delivered to Redacted's residence. I explained the evidence that had been uncovered throughout the day, specifically the IP address linking his cell phone to the DoorDash account used to order the pizza he delivered. I explained as clearly as I could that the VoIP phone numbers he used to text Redacted could also be traced back to specific IP addresses and therefore back to him. I also explained that the Facebook account he created and the message he sent to himself would be traced back to him once we received that data from Facebook. I noted that there were surveillance cameras all over the Redacted center and that one of them likely recorded him as he was creating the Facebook account and typing the messages to himself. Donovan weakly denied any involvement, but ultimately admitted to everything. Donovan told me he noticed Redacted while he was at Redacted practice, and he asked a coworker to help him. Asked a coworker to tell him his name. Donovan said he had not spoken with Redacted, but described becoming fixated on Redacted. Said he found Redacted's phone number and the family address through an internet search. He said he had Redacted phone number for about a day before he sent the first series of texts to him. Donovan told me he used his cell phone to create the VoIP accounts using a text-free app and admitted to using those accounts to send the text messages to Redacted. He said he sent most of the messages from the Redacted Center parking lot after he left work. Donovan said he thought he might have sent some of the messages from the parking lot of Walmart at such address at some more while at working at Redacted. Donovan admitted to ordering the pizza from Domino's and said he created a new PayPal account separate from the PayPal account he usually uses to pay for that order. Donovan admitted to creating the DoorDash account he used to order the pizza he delivered. He told me the email address he used to create the account, redacted, referenced, redacted, who I described as a Canadian serial killer. He corrected me and said redacted was the girlfriend of a serial killer. The facts of that case involve redacted, something her boyfriend, and then husband in the kidnapping, ape, add an R in front of that, torture, and murder of young women, including her sister. He told me he also intentionally referenced redacted and redacted in his text to redacted, knowing that redacted had murdered redacted, not really an when I asked Donovan why he referenced murderers, he said he had what was not really an obsession with serial killers and murderers, but described enjoying the criminology and psychology behind those crimes. We briefly discussed the Idaho murder investigation involving redacted. Who is redacted? I bet you 10 to 1 it's Brian, the Idaho 4 suspect who has been arrested, who reportedly shares Donovan's affinity for criminology and psychology. Donovan told me he knew his explicit language regarding redacted and the references to murderers would likely upset and alarm redacted. Although he claimed he didn't intend to harm redacted, he could not provide any explanation as to why he implied that he would. He told me he started texting redacted as a way of getting attention. When I asked how he was getting attention since redacted had no idea who was sending the messages, Donovan just shrugged his shoulders and said he didn't know. Donovan told me he felt like what he was doing was bringing all of them, redacted, and Donovan together. I asked him to explain what that meant to him, and he again said he didn't know. Donovan eventually told me that he wanted redacted at redacted practice and expressed his belief that redacted was a better swimmer than he was despite being younger. Donovan told me he had done something like this before when he was 16 years old. So this is not this 22-year-old man's first time of doing this. He did it when he was 16 years old. This is a repeat offender at the age of 22 by his own admission. Let me read it again. Donovan told me that he had done something like this before when he was 16 years old. He said he sent similar messages to someone he knew from camp. As he described the incident, he spoke carefully and did not provide any real details. When I asked what made him stop, he told me his victim found out who he was. He told me his victim found out he was the one sending the messages and that he, the victim, met with detectives. Donovan told me he did not think he had been charged for anything related to the harassing messages he sent, but said he was arrested for something else, which he did not specify. We're getting there to the end of this document, folks. We're getting there. Donovan told me he wasn't a serial killer and that he could never murder someone and that he just wouldn't be able to do something like that. The way he spoke the words led me to believe that he felt it was impossible, not because he knew it would be wrong, but because he lacked the wherewithal to complete the task. I asked Donovan what would stop him acting on those uncontrollable urges if they started again in the future. Donovan responded by speaking at length about his belief that no one gets away with murder and that all murderers are caught eventually. He said that if he did commit a murder because he couldn't control his desires, he would be caught and sent to prison for his crimes. He said that what prevents him from acting on his desires is knowing that they, the other prisoners, would know what he did and he would have to kill himself or they would do it, meaning the prisoners. Near the end of the interview, I explained to Donovan that I had seized his cell phone as evidence, green iPhone, and that I intended to obtain a search warrant for its contents. He asked if he would be getting his phone back, and I told him that he could have it back after we had searched it. I asked if he would be willing to give me consent to search his phone for information relating to this incident. Before he made any decision, I provided him with a consent to search form and read it to him. I explained his rights to refuse to provide consent and made it clear the decision was up to him. He seemed concerned about how long he would be without his phone. So I explained the process if he provided consent and the process of obtaining a warrant. Ultimately, Donovan decided to sign the form, giving me consent to search the phone, and wrote his cell phone access code next to his signature. At the conclusion of the interview, I provided Donovan with my business card and left the room so deputies could escort him to jail. A clear plastic bag with Donovan Boudreau's personal belongings were given to Commander Valerio upon his arrival. I observed this bag on the desk while watching the interview. I observed a green iPhone in this bag with Donovan's wallet, keys to his car, and a ball cap. I was advised all of these items were taken off of Donovan's person upon contact. I am requesting the search warrant for Donovan's cell phone due to him using this phone to contact and stalk the victim in this case. It is believed further evidence of this crime will be located within the phone. Based upon the foregoing, there is probable cause to believe that between March 12, 2023 and March 20th, 2023, in the county of Montrose, state of Colorado, the crime of stalking, as defined by CRS 18-3-602, was committed. Believed to be located or situated at the following listed items to include all data storage devices and all electronic memory contained within or attached to the devices such as SIM cards and SD cards, currently being held in a locked box at the Montrose County Sheriff's Office under case MPD, and it gives a case number. Item number 1, green iPhone, cell phone taken from Donovan Boudreaux's person upon contact. Your client respectfully requests a search warrant to perform actions to discover the passcode, decrypt, acquire, extract, and copy data from the device, to process and then search and analyze the following described data, to include data that is stored, sent, received, deleted, encrypted, saved, or protected, believed to have been created, viewed, accessed, modified, deleted, downloaded, or saved to the device between March 1st, 2023 and March 20th, 2023. All application databases, files, and usage logs. The content of SMS, MMS, email, instant and chat messaging, data contained in social media and applications within a messaging service. Call logs, voice messages, and contact lists. The content of notes, documents, text files, spreadsheets, and similar applications. The context of reminders, calendars, appointment books, and similar applications. All image, audio, and video files included related metadata. Records of internet activity, including internet protocol, IP addresses, caches, browser history, cookies, search terms, and websites. All location, global positioning system, GPS, Wi-Fi, cell tower, network, and geological data. Data which shows possession, dominion, and control over the device surrounding relevant artifacts identified in the data. To review the device's settings, system data, and log files to determine consistencies or inaccuracies between the timestamps in the device's data and actual time. All data without associated timestamps, such as files from an unallocated space and deleted files. To copy and or review the seized electronic storage media or electronically stored information at a later date, consistent with Rule 41D5 VII of the Colorado Rules of Criminal Procedure. I specifically read that because I've never seen a search warrant for an electronic device, such as a phone. We've had questions about this in the Delphi case. Now you know exactly what law enforcement asks for when they get a search warrant for your phone. You know exactly what it is by me reading that document. All right, 1 second here. I just got to make sure that this message is not for my kids. Okay. So that took a long time reading that document. A very long time. And that was just one document. I still have other documents to go. So I'm going to take a look at the comments. If you put in a previous question, start over, put question mark, and type in your question so that I can answer them. And I'm going to give you a minute to do that while I run to the bathroom. I will be right back. Okay. Thank you for being patient with me for a moment. I've been drinking water all day and could not hold it anymore. So I'm going to be looking at the chat here for questions in just a moment. Okay. All right. I just want to say before I start with the questions, please, everyone, drink your water. It is supposed to get extremely hot this week. And I want everybody to be safe and hydrated. Okay. Were there any CSAM images on the phone? Not according to the documents I received regarding this case. If they did find anything like that, it was not said in these documents. No, Susie, I've covered everything. It sounds like it's just the stalking part of it, but they charged them all the charges because of what I just read. Okay. Looking for question marks. Thank you, Carly, for all of the gifted memberships. Can we get the PDF after the live? There are some things that I need to redact on the PDF before I will give it out. And that is because, as I said in the beginning, even though the clerk's office redacts the names, there is identifying words, other names in this document that would identify the victim, and I will not let anybody have that. I personally will not give that out. Honeybee, thank you for gifting memberships. You and Carly are wonderful for doing that. All right, I am not seeing any other questions come in that have the question mark. So we are going to continue tomorrow night with part 2. Since it took me that long to read that one document. Miracle Heart says, I think everyone is speechless. I know that when I read this, I was very speechless. This is not something that we normally see or hear. The predators in these cases normally go after the kids and they groom them. In this case, this individual went for the parents. From what I have read, I don't know that this individual, this predator, ever got to the child. The arrest was on March 21st, 2023. Did they separate these into 2 separate cases because they became totally... They separated them into 2 different cases because they felt that counts 4 through 48 would prejudice the defendant in counts 1 through 3. This case is over now. It was supposed to go to trial. Instead of going to trial, Donovan has accepted a plea bargain, and we will be going over that document. So you will know what time he got for and what charges or counts they actually got him on. It's not all 48, I'll tell you that. Not when a plea deal happens. Most of those charges get dismissed. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Heather. She says, where'd it go? Marv, I know this was hard for you. Thanks for sharing. I have more details to come in other documents. Okay. Things you may want to hear. And I'm going to do a live, I'm going to reschedule my whole week's lives and continue this and do a part 2 tomorrow. And if I have to do a part 3, I will. But the other documents are a lot shorter than this first original one. In addition to that, I have information for parents on what are the top 5 things to look for with these child predators. I also have resources for you. And some of those resource links are in the description below this video. Please share those out to anybody and everybody you know. Ruckus says, listening from the road. Love you, Ruckus. You and Mr. Steve have a safe trip. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. Come back. I'll set up a new thumbnail for tomorrow night, same time. I'll read faster if need be, but it was very important that you heard what was said out of this specific document. Before I leave, thank you so much, Phil Bond, for your super sticker. Honeybee, thank you so much for yours also, for help with the cost. The world is mine. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for bringing this to our awareness. This boggles my brain. As parents, we're also told that predators will hide communication from parents. This bloke is hitting on or harassing a father. Exactly. Bethelite. It's unlike anything we've ever heard before. So thank you so much for your super chat. Gladys, it's amazing how sick people are. Thank you so much for sharing. It's mind-blowing and heartbreaking. You are absolutely right. It is mind-blowing and absolutely heartbreaking. And anything that I can do as a creator to help all of you get this information out to stop these predators, I will do that. Thank you once again. Ruby, Tuesday, thank you for shining a light on the dark part of this community and this world. Absolutely. Protect children. Carly, Honeybee, thank you so much for all of the gifted memberships you gave out tonight. I appreciate it. I appreciate the donations from the bottom of my heart. I will see you all tomorrow for part 2. Coming up next, go to Fire and Ice channel and watch their video. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.